What up? Good morning. We are just doing the thing. Hold on a second. I'm going through the forums, man. Going through the forums this morning. And having some tea. I hope that you are good wherever you are. Your computer ever do some like stupid stuff and you're like, man, why are you doing that? And why can't I fix it? That's where I'm at right now. But sipping some tea, going through the forums, seeing what's happening in Baseland. I haven't joined this group over 60 plus bass players. You know why? There's probably a good reason for that, and that is because I am not 60 plus. Getting there though, let me tell you. And that was definitely no shade to the folks who are 60 plus. We all got to get there. If we're lucky, if we're blessed enough, we will all get there. All right. What are we talking about? IEM's probably been brought up before, but has anyone eliminated their amps for strictly in-ears? I have not. Had I stayed in California, I probably would have. Hey, 61 today. Fat Fingers, 61 today. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. Charlie is a dope. Boys, what's up, Jay? This boy is badass. As far as like cats that really like play the pyrotechnic kind of stuff, I do think he is rather musical. And I think that Victor Wooten has handed the torch over to him. So that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Those are nice. Jeez Louise. Jeffrey Boyle, what's cracking? Let's see, what time is it? 10:39. Hang on just a second, guys. Jay. Oh, you're in the over 60 group? Cool. Hold on one second. What's up, brother?
Hey, so at that part, you want me to play that double tap part like that?
Are you talking about on the snare drum?
Yeah.
I would say that it is safer to do that, and more it's gonna help the guitar player with time. But even if we got into some alternative kind of groove, cool. But the thing is that he's got to be solid on the rhythm of that guitar part. Like what he's playing is dope, but it's not really the guitar part. And since it's setting everything up, it could be problematic. You know what I mean? So if we can just kind of keep it in there like that, you know what I mean? We'll be good. But I'll see you in a little bit. All right.
All right, cool.
All right, bro. Like, duty calls, friends. Duty calls. Duty calls. So let's keep going through the forums, man. You guys seem to like that the other day. So, what's weird is I'm like, anyway, that's going to get on my nerves. You see how the screen is like sharing in the background, and I don't know why it's doing that, and that's annoying the out of me. Oh, my man is clean. He cleaner than a board of health. He is cleaner than the board of health. You heard? How about this for a wild setup? Has anybody ever played one of these basses like this? That's clear. I mean, it's cute, but what do they sound like? Do they sound like anything? I've never, I ain't fancy like that, so I have never played anything. Dude, the background on this is driving me nuts. Okay, maybe I changed it. Maybe I fixed it just now. Hopefully I did. It's nice. The forums are interesting. Like the questions that people have. I think it's more about like community and people want to like talk about their gear and stuff like that. Good morning. I waited until I turned 60 on October 14th, blah, 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 to join this group. And it's been a blessing. I'd be honored if you'd give my story a read. Maybe later. Maybe later. Ooh, look at that stingray. Good God Almighty. Good God Almighty. Say, ooh, 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 ooh. Let me tell you about the chicken green. I love seeing these old photos, and love seeing guys that are still out there doing it. These are nice. Those are nice. Nice. What forums are you guys in? So Fat Finger said he's in the 60 plus group. Like if I join the group, they're going to ask me if I'm 60 plus, and then I'd have to lie. You know what I mean? I don't want to do that. Let's see. Everybody tell Fat Fingers happy birthday. Samson, let's see. Bass player. Is it bass? Oh, who's this guy? Who's that guy? Who's that guy? Who's that guy? Who's that nutcase right there? Don't judge me for the AI photo. We gotta at least try it, right? Okay, here's a question. Oh, that's cool. Knobs matter. They let in a lot of younger people, huh? All right, cool. So if my breath still smell like Similac, I can get in? Is that what you're saying? Let's see. I should have put my glasses on for this. I got to zoom in. My eyes are 60 plus. I'm heading to the U.S. from Australia next year for 7 to 10 days. Off to see Rush and catch up and stay with a good mate. I've pretty much played bass every day, bar literally 2 days, since I picked it up back a few months ago. And I thought of not playing for the thought of not playing for that long is not an appealing thought. Hopefully you know where I'm coming from. I do. But I literally feel like it's good for the soul to be able to pick up the bass on a daily basis. Do any of you have... Wow. Maybe I need more of this. Do any of you take your bass when you're traveling to try to get your hands on something temporarily abroad? I know this is coming from a position of extreme privilege, so apologies if it comes across conceited, I think is what he means, but interested. Now, listen, I used to be like this. So I know that feeling, but that ain't really, that's not really my particular steez these days. I think, there's a lot of ways to practice without the instrument in your hand. And truth be told, one of the best forms of practice is just listening. I've been in this space before, maybe you guys have too, where I have just not been listening enough. You know what I mean? Because when you're constantly trying to do the thing and play and whatnot, I feel like you're like trying to hammer in stuff. You're playing the same things over and over again. Or yeah, that's it in a nutshell. You're playing the same things over and over again, and you're not really opening yourself up to new things. And then there's also that idea. I can't remember where the article came from, where they were talking about how you kind of like stop listening to new music after a certain age. Now, I don't, I still listen to new music, but my ears are most definitely on stuff from my formative years. And, stuff from the 90s. But if I'm going to like listen to something, I'm putting on, there's a very specific bag of things that I'm putting on. And it's not a knock on other types of music, and I'm definitely interested in other things. But um, let's see. Sometimes you play even better after a break. True deal. Fat Finger says it's therapeutic to me when I travel. I usually do not take it, but I have a mini MIDI that allows me to stay musically in touch. Yeah, I mean that's cool too. But then also, like, let's say you're on a vacation. You know what I mean? I've taken a bass on vacation before, and if I'm going, like, now, if I'm going somewhere just to like go somewhere and enjoy myself, I'm not taking an instrument with me. And you're not going to lose any skills after, a few days. I'm with Jeremy here. Yeah, take the break, experience other stuff, and then when you pick up your bass again, you'll have new things to say with it. Bravo. No notes. No notes. That's it. What is this? Nah, man. This stuff here, not for me. Not for me at all. Unless you're doing a lot of chordal stuff, solo arrangements, yada yada. A lot of soloing and stuff, man. A 7-string bass is just, to me, to each his or her own. To each his or her own. But not my bag. P-Bass, J-Bass, non-Fender brands, alternative that are cheap. What models do you recommend, sire? Right off the bat, I say sire. I say, and I would say modern vintage. And if you were interested in a modern vintage bass, which that's a subsidiary of Elric, and you use the code TED Talks, all lowercase, you get $200 off. But they're still about the same price as a Fender. Non-Fender, but my first start, did he say Sadowski? Really? Sadowski, bro? No. Not Sadowski. Not Sadowski. Sire. Yeah, I'd say Sire. Not the Yamaha BB. Did not like that bass at all. Not at all. The Squier. These. I've played a couple of these. These are cool. But my experience has been not the greatest with Fender. The only Fender that I've owned that I have kept is the P-Bass. It's like a 2013 American P-Bass. That's the only one that I've kept. Every jazz bass has been nada. World's okay. These shirts are funny. Oh, look, my battery's about to die. Don't do that. Don't do that. Let's see what else we got in the bass world. Let's be honest. That's ugly. Oh, not for rock and rollers, it's cool. Well, this is funny. Let's look at this. What's this all about? Let's look at this. Wait, Jonathan E. Any relation to Sheila E? You don't necessarily need your bass for any of these music theory by listening to your ears. Circle of fifths, interval, note ear training, discovering new. Listen, I don't have my glasses on. That's what the problem is. I swear I can read. Discovering. Yeah, man. I think there's great value in just like walking away from it for a little while. Not having your hands on it for a little while. Thou shalt not F up the groove. F up the notes if thou must, but not the groove. Okay. Thou shalt not lust after thy guitar player's part. He keepeth the fun. This is stupid. Thou shalt not thump with thy thumb, nor honk with a pick when thy fingers are the way of truth. Ah, oh, shut the front door. I can't anymore. That's a rock and roll dude right there. Beast mode. You would not want to fight that guy. I mean, you wouldn't want to fight anybody. I wouldn't, but. If you need work done, getting parts is easier and more people can work on it. Oh, let me read the other part of your post, of your comment there. Said I just traded a Sire M7 because I needed a new preamp. It was still new, but getting a replacement part was too much. Yeah, I hear you, though. I don't know much about the Sire M series. I wish people would put more more legit questions in the forums. Me trying to pluck a couple of notes and trying to figure out the base. I'm still a beginner, learning, still trying. Let's see what we got.
Tell me you got good news for me. Well, it all depends on how you look at it. Okay. Well, thank you for getting this together for me so quick. Honestly, I thought it was going to take a little bit longer, but my son's got right back to me.
You see this octave shape that they're trying to play? When your finger is like, for octave shapes, use that first finger and the pinky. It's always going to be a better deal, because when you're trying to play like this, that pinky gets stuck under the fretboard. And it's an ugly habit to try to fix. You know? This is a dick move. Have you ever tried banjo? This is not even a real person. Or it's let me stop. Let me stop. I went to the wrong form. Did I? It takes a lot of cojones to record a video of yourself and then put it on the internet, especially in a place that's supposed to be supportive. Humans can be ugly. Hey, girl. Esperanza. My little home. Interesting. What do you guys think of that? What do you guys think of that? All right, here we go. Here's some stuff. Let's talk about restraint in your playing. I've been guilty of overplaying and try to fill as much as possible in a mix live setting. I feel like this I mean, it was the wood finish Fat Fingers was cool, but not something that I would probably play. Ian says, I feel like this depends on your ensemble. It absolutely does. 4-piece band with bass, drums, guitar, and vocal. There's a lot of space to fill up. The space is filled up by the guitar and the vocals. Listening recently to Adam Clayton's Restraint on a song like One Tree Hill is a perfect example of restraint. Revisit that song and tell me your thoughts. I don't know if this is a question more as I don't know if this is more like a question more. Jesus, speak, son. It's more of a comment than anything else. But what is considered overplaying? I think everything. It depends on your ensemble, but really, my thoughts are that a good song or a good groove is it's gonna be heard just with the bass. You should be able to strip everything out and hear the bass, and a good exercise, a really good exercise to do is, whatever the groove is, pick a groove, put a timer on for 3 minutes, and only play that one groove with no fills, no variations, no nothing. You could give yourself just a little bit of grace and say you can change the dynamics. But I would say if you got a groove, play the same thing for 3 minutes. No fills, no nothing. And just hold it. And start being conscious of that. Ed Friedland did a really, I always point back to this, I've pointed back to this article, and I don't always do it, but I've pointed back to this article quite a bit. And the article is called, it was in Bass Player magazine, it was called The Art of Being No One. The Art of Being No One. Great article. Great article. Fat Finger says, restraint is important. Was it Victor Wooten or maybe Markham? Yeah, I mean, what you don't play is super important. But that does not mean that you can't, add stuff. I have a saying, nobody's getting famous tonight. Ain't nobody getting famous tonight. And that means just, like if you play your role, if you play what your role is and you play it well and you just like go ham in that groove, everybody's going to shine. You know what I mean? What's up, Wayne? Everybody going to shine. There's a time, it's just like anything else, right? There's a time and a place for everything. Musical maturity, I don't say musical maturity to like insult anybody or whatever, but as you mature as a musician, not just a bass player, but a musician who plays bass, that everybody's going to feel the fills in the same place. So if everybody's doing some sort of a fill in the same place, but the fill is not like, they're not all playing the same thing. Sometimes you get those magic moments where everybody's kind of thinking the same thing, but those are few and far between. That, you know what I mean? I'm not an old head that's like, you gotta give it like this, technical facility and all this, blah, blah, blah. It's good to have, What is this thing? Don't know if we can post here, but currently in Eastern Townships, just on top of Vermont, they're selling something. I don't know what that is. Hey guys, got me this bass. It doesn't look like a gym. Hey guys, got me this bass a couple of years ago, but really don't like it. I want to sell it, but I can't find info online. No, it says it's Jackson. Dave Ellison. J Pro, bravo. Yes. Yeah, man. It's like it's like when you have a conversation with somebody. When you're having a conversation with somebody and they're listening only to respond versus listening to understand. J Pro, that was a great comment there. Why your bass sound? Why your bass sound? I swear on everything I can read. Why your bass sounds muddy? Sometimes our bass sounds too thick or unclear. Try this. Cut a little bit of low end and add some mids. You'll hear the tone clear. Now, somebody posted on here. I don't disagree with this. Somebody posted on here a couple weeks ago where they were talking about what amp sounds good with blah, blah, blah. For me, I want that bass to sound good unamplified. And as far as like preamps and stuff goes, like my Aguilar, man, is typically at 12 o'clock. Everything is typically at 12 o'clock most of the time. And I'll dial in, my most of the time the preamp on the bass is 12 o'clock. If I need to get a little something additional, little tweaks. Jim's still trying to get rid of that bass. I don't know how the... Let's see. God, I miss my previous series. Nice. I'll subscribe. Not really my bag, but I'll sub. It's like an Ampeg rig, except it won't break. I used to have one of these. They don't have enough headroom for me. I use the AG700 now, which is like to me, the perfect balance between the DB750, 751, and the Tonehammer 500. So you got like the headroom of those other ones, and the portability of a Tonehammer. Thank you for changing my life. I'm literally just changing your strings. Here's the first exercise in which I show you how to move an exercise through all 12 keys. This one uses half steps, 1 fret movement from C to C to shining C. You may have to make some adjustments to play the blah, 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 blah. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. I would play that all in one position. That's a cute exercise. That's cute. Now let me show you something here real quick. Let's see. Let me show you something here real quick. Any sequential exercises is good. I ain't gonna go through my man's whole exercise, but this is where you like decide. When I look at those two chunks of information, I'm like, okay, this is a pattern. That pattern is just moving through the entire key. And then it goes, yeah, that's a cool little ditty. It's a cool little exercise there in the bass forearms. Let's see. I am in the wrong place. Boom. There we go. That's a cool little exercise. It's sort of like a Hannon. Hey, this guy was killing. This guy right here, I seen him the other day. He's killing. Copyright. Like that guy. I was looking up some tabs for Sleep Token. Who's that by? Sleep Token. That's a rock tune, right? The other day, and it looks like uses BEAD tuning. I don't know nothing about that. That's some rock and roll. The Sandpiper Inn. Where is the Sandpiper Inn? I want to go. That's beautiful. Beautiful. Too many strings. This dude right here is sick. John Myung. Very soft-spoken man. What time is it? I got to get up out of here. Okay. All right. Look through some more. I'm going to have to get up out of here. What is it that you guys, those of you guys who are in the forums, what do you look for in forums? Absolutely. Rest in peace, D'Angelo. What do you guys look, like a lot of these forums are just like, what's up, Stickster? Look like they're like show and tell, which is no judgment at all, but like sometimes, like if you go to the forum, you'll ask a question and it's like, I see like sometimes you see a question, it's like throwing a rock into the ocean. That's a bad analogy. And you spend like 100 years looking through the comments. You know what I mean? What other bass player forums are there out there? Bass. Let's go see Bass Player United. Now this has been a strange group. In my opinion, in my opinion, I used to be in this group, I think, and then got banned for some reason, which I thought was incredibly odd. Love that. Fat Fingers. Love that. Love that. Love that. Love that. Love that. Like that. That's cool. Did you guys hug a bassist on October 12th? Or did somebody hug you? Have you ever... no comment. This is beautiful and also ugly at the same time. Yeah, that's what's up, man. I love it. Andy Irvine. He's another badass. Woo! Woo! Yeah, he be playing his ass off. What do you guys think of Sting? I like Sting, man, but Sting is like, it's interesting. Like, I know people who either love Sting or they don't. And by don't, I mean the complete other end of the spectrum, which I think is weird. Let's whip it, baby. Yeah. Let it whip. Ooh, look at these sexy beasts. My goodness. Just waiting on the bookings to come in after doing that freebie for exposure. That's funny. That's funny. I ain't gonna lie. I wish I owned a Rickenbacker. Fun fact, I used to live down the street from Cliff Burton's parents in Castro Valley, California. Me playing, yeah, that's funny. That's funny. Oh, gosh. Yes, indeed. This right here. Tao Wilkenfeld. I heard she's not such a nice lady. But I take that with a grain of salt. Let me tell y'all something about Adam Nitti. Let me tell y'all something about Adam Nitti real quick, and then I gotta go. Adam Nitti is like one of the godfathers of learning bass guitar online. I don't know if you guys remember, it was called Music Dojo back in the days. Anthony Wellington was on there, and Adam Nitti was on there as well. Now, the story that I have to tell about Adam Nitti before I leave is that I went to school for music when I was 35, which feels like yesterday, but I know it's 100 years ago. And I just did not know what I was doing. I had a couple of classes, and I was just fumbling all over the place. And I reached out to Adam Nitti on Music Dojo or somewhere. And he gave me his phone number. And we talked on the phone. Let me tell you, that conversation got me through my first semester of college. Adam is a good, chill cat. Like, for real. Beautiful photo. All right, we'll take a look at some forums some other time. Hey, guys, listen. If you're not a subscriber, hit that subscribe button. Check out Bass Note Master. And catch y'all in the next one. Peace.